Yeah, we're officially live. Okay, welcome to IT Guru Tech Meetup Phase 7. If you guys already know, this is our seventh event, and I think we're doing pretty good. Unfortunately, last year, I think we only had two events, if I can remember. But this year, I think we will do more, hopefully, but not to overwhelm ourselves. I know everyone has one or two things to do: the job, the work, the study, the family, all is involved. So I would like to welcome you officially once again to Tech Meetup Phase 7. How did we found IT Guru's Tech Meetup? We started IT Guru um, like 5 years ago, if I'm correct, and it's a kind of event we founded. Myself and a colleague of mine, Sheyi, I think is now in the US. Hopefully, is able to join with his family in the US. We found the IT Guru um, group based on the fact that we noticed that a lot of people always ask questions about IT. A lot of people always have issues with their IT. A lot of people are looking for jobs in IT. As at that time, there was a lot of job in Germany. There was a lot of offers for in Germany, and a lot of people always ask questions: How can they get this job? What kind of job is available? And from there, we decided to talk to one of each other and create a group. When we created the group, we were only four members. I can remember. After that, people started joining. We started sharing jobs, offers, and stuff like all these student jobs at the same time, um, long-term contract and short-term contract jobs. So here we go. We are already 500 members, and we are still counting. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you, everyone, for being a member of the group. I hope you are able to learn one or two things from us. We will keep on giving back to the society. This is a way we are thinking we can give back to the society. Okay, that's a bit about Height Gurus. Um, you can always find out more about us from the bio of the WhatsApp group. You can see there we have a lot of information there. Right now, our website went down, so I'm trying to bring it back up. It might not be available right now, but the YouTube playlist for all our previous technical meetups is there. You can also get some information there from there. Okay, so let's start with the meet and greet. For the introduction session, we would like each and every one of you to start by introducing yourself, where you are, who you are, what do you do, and yeah, I think that's it. I will start from myself. My name is Yakuba Mofoyewa. I live in Germany, Cologne, to be precise. Actually, my I always say I live in Cologne because I'm very close to Cologne. So Leverkusen, Schlebusch is like 10 minutes. I'm not going to say 10 minutes. Yeah, let's say 10 minutes by car to Cologne. So, and a lot of people might not actually know Schlebusch. So that's why I always tell people I live in Cologne. I'm married, I have a kid, and I studied in Germany. I studied communication systems and networks engineering from the Technical University of Cologne. I had my master's in this course and currently works as a platform engineer for OB. OB is a Baumarkt shop for those in Germany. I think OB is quite a very popular Baumarkt in Germany. So let's keep it up. From my left, I will just start with Aguboshim. Aguboshim, you have the floor.
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Emmanuel. Actually, that's my phone name, my first name,
Okay.
and the other one is like yeah, my surname. I live in Cologne also, and I also work in Cologne, and I also had my master's in Germany a few years ago, and then I also worked in quite a number of places until I I finally moved here like 3 years ago from Hamburg. And yeah,
You're welcome.
thank you so much.
Moving on to the next person beside Emmanuel, that is RKE. I am very certain that is Kennedy, yeah? Oh, Kenneth, I'm correct.
That's correct. I am suspecting you actually meant myself, right? Jakub.
Yes, that's you. You put your name as RKE. So.
Hello, everyone. My name is actually Richard Kenneth Enajite, just in case you're seeing that RKE and you're wondering. I also live in the outskirts of Cologne, just like Yakubu, but we feel free to say we live in Cologne. What, 10 minutes, or I am also 10 minutes away from Cologne, precisely. It's fresh and close to, what's it called, Hert, and also Cologne, actually. I studied here, studied in Nigeria, like every one of you, and I am an electronics engineer currently, and I develop high-speed systems when you, if you want to kind of position this in your head, form factor, PCs, and laptops and tablets like that, the complicated boards behind those things, how they work and the rest of them, but on the industry part of it. So if you have a device, for example, and you see a display in front of it, behind it is something like a computer that is doing all the processing behind it. Yes, I got 2 kids and we're pushing things. And I'd like to tell you guys, once again, thank you very much for inviting me, because I am pretty new in this platform. With this, I'll give it to the next person. Thank you.
You're welcome. The next person on my table, I'm seeing David Obuola. You have the floor.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is David Kopola. I live in Berlin. I used to live in Cologne, and that's how I met the organizer of this event. We also worked together briefly somewhere, and since then we've been friends. So I currently live in Berlin. I work as an automation engineer. I also have 2 kids, and yeah, that's life. Thank you.
Thank you, David. I'll move on to Olivia Okoro. You have the floor.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Loud and
Okay,
clear.
thank you. So my name is Olivia Okoro, and I live in Fuda. It's in Hessen, somewhere around, it's close to Frankfurt. It's just an hour away from Frankfurt, but yeah. And I study data science, and I work alongside that. I had my bachelor also in Gesundheitsinformatik. So I think that's it. I've been in IT Gurus for some years now, but yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Again, Olivia. Next person, I'm not sure of the name, but it's written as DK. DK. Yeah.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. My name is Damilola Kutai. I live in Cottbus. Cottbus is like 90 minutes from Berlin. And I had my master's here and currently work as an analyst in one of these Berlin companies, Pentalip. I'm really excited to be in IT Guru. This is my first time joining the meeting. And yeah, really excited to learn from everyone.
You're welcome. The next person, I'll move on to Samuel Lunga.
Yes, thank you very much. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is doing good. My name is Samuel Ilunga, and I just joined for the first time this meeting, and I'm glad as well to join. And I was recommended by my brother-in-law, Emmanuel Afeshi, who told me, and I'm glad to join and to know everybody. Currently, I live as well in Cologne, but in Freshen, good stuff. Yeah. And I'm happy to be here. And I'm a student. I'm a student in Freezing University of Applied Science. and I'm about to start my university soon in 6 months coming. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I'll move on to the next person. That is Ismaila Francis Yusuf.
Okay.
You have the floor.
Hello, everyone. My name is Francis. So I live in Bochum. I also study in Bochum. So I did my master's in Bochum as well as my PhD. And currently I'm working as a postdoc in Bochum too. So, and also this is my first time of joining this meeting. So thank you for having me here.
No worries, you're welcome. The next person, have I mentioned Abdullah Abdul Latif? No, Abdullah Abdul Latif. You have the floor.
All right, thank you very much. Hello, everyone. I am Abdullah Abdul Latif. I am a student. Currently, studying masters in agricultural economics. This is my first time in joining the group, and I would love to hear from those in the IT section on how the industry is. So I think it's a fascinating industry as well. So I would love to learn from everyone. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Let's make it quicker. I will move on to Adeolu Eribake. You have the floor.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Adeolu. I'm a surveying engineer and also a finance analyst. And I'm married. I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Next person, Akindele Ayorinde. Briefly.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Akindele Ayorinde. I'm a front-end developer, and I'm happy to be here. I'm single.
You're welcome. Next person, Allow Faisal.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Allow Faisal Magnus. I'm currently a graduate student of Ladoke Akitola University of Technology. I'm an animal nutritionist. So this is my first time joining, and I would like to learn more from everyone. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Daniel Kube. Daniel Kube, are you there?
Yes, I am Daniel Kube. I work as a software quality assurance engineer. Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
You're welcome. Next person, Jesut Fumi additional.
All right, thank you very much for the opportunity. My name is Adeshina Jositofumi. I am currently a student at Ladoke Akitola University of Technology. I am an electronics undergrad, and I'm looking forward to the experience that I have to gain from here. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Lawal.
Hello.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Lawal. Can you make it brief?
Yeah, sorry. My name is Nawal. I live in Munich, Germany. I'm a software engineer. It's my first time joining a session like this.
Welcome, Lawal. Next person, I'll make it short. Olagoke Shomoye.
Thank you, everyone. My name is Olagoke Shomoye. I'm a non-financial reporting specialist. I live in Salzburg. Thank you.
You're welcome. Ramsey
Hello, everyone. I'm Ramsey Mayat. I'm an IT trainer and developer, specialized in automation, AI, and I live in the Netherlands, but my girlfriend lives in Cologne. And she recommended me this.
You're welcome. Saeed Shomoye.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Sahid Shomoye. I'm AI and ML engineer, and I live in Frankfurt Oder.
You're welcome. Samuel, I think have I called Samuel Lunga?
Yes, already.
Okay, thank you. Sensei Kakashi, and finally, Victor Akinola. Sensei Kakashi, you have the floor.
Yeah, hi guys. Actually, my real name is Chika. I'm based in Wuppertal, and I'm actually a sysadmin.
You're welcome. And finally, Victor Akinola, Mr.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Victor Akinola. I studied communication systems and networks in Cologne as well with Jakub. And I was opportunity for him to show me the ropes in Germany. Yeah.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for everyone for coming. We will, without wasting much of our time, don't forget the agenda. We will strictly stick to our agenda. The first agenda is financing opportunity in Germany. That is a way for you to be an entrepreneur, to have this entrepreneurial spirit in Germany, how you can navigate through this route, talk to an expert or talk to people that already have gone through this process and how you can learn from them. I think our guest speaker is Kenneth. I always call him Kenneth, but you can also call him Richard. So he's already ready. I'll make him our co-host now. So you have the floor, Mr. Kenneth.
So I have to unmute myself. If not, I will have to talk until next year and nobody will profit from what I will be saying. I hope you can hear me now. I can already see that I am sharing my screen.
We can hear you, but I think your screen is not showing anything right now.
No problem. No problem. I am using a Miro right now and having a bit of it, but I think it's fine right now. So to get started, as 4 quick pins to get myself back. I am a bit tensed up right now. I had the maximum number of kids in the introduction I had was 2. Hopefully some of us will dare to have more than 2 kids and enjoy the stress in it in this country. And the secondly is I was not expecting non-Nigerians in this call. So if you, for some reasons, catch me talk about the Nigerians alone, please pardon me for that. And finally, you will realize that while some of us struggle with the German language, I struggle with trying to speak English right now because I am more fluent in German than English over the time. Yes, with that said, let's get started. See my screen. So as we already know, engineers are trained to solve problems and entrepreneurs are trained to turn those solutions to businesses. And today I want to talk about how Africans in Germany can transform ideas into ventures that attract funding. And if for some reasons you are wondering why or what these pictures you see around here have to do with the topic, well, I simply want to use this to highlight what we Africans build our side businesses around. And the problem is we are losing these businesses to other nationalities. However, the era of professionalism opens the floor and makes it a bit neutral, and we shouldn't look down and let this continue. Now let's get started with a very simple question. Why do some ideas actually attract funding and the others never leave the notebook? In the introduction earlier, I told you that I am, my name is Richard Enajide, and I am originally from Nigeria and currently based in Germany. And my background is electronics engineering. Prior to that, I studied computer science in Nigeria, and I have recently completed my MBA studies. That means in the next times, I'll be focusing strongly on innovation and venture creation. But then I have a very strong interest on how professionals, especially Africans, can transform their technical expertise into real businesses and scalable ventures. And this interest led me to today's presentation topic, how we can finance ventures and professionals like us can take up these opportunities that are available in Germany. So, but before we go deeper, let me briefly show you how I have arranged or structured the topic or my talk for today. First, we will look at a bigger picture and discuss whether professionals should focus only on jobs or also on solving problems through ventures. Then we want to define what entrepreneurial venture is and actually how startups typically move from idea to funding. And after that, I will present a short case study using a venture concept called Neighbor It. And finally, I will explore funding opportunities available in Germany and compare them to realities in Nigeria. Sorry, if I had known, I would have done something African on this. I will end with a message on collaboration and joint ventures and how we can use this as a powerful tool to build businesses together. But for now, let's start with a bigger question. Are we training ourselves really to look for just jobs alone or to solve problems and build ventures? We engineers are in some ways at advantage in entrepreneurship. And this is because we are trained to solve problems and we understand systems. And most importantly, we can build products and solutions. Africans, for example, they have, or especially, they have strong entrepreneurial culture. If we look at it across the world, in the UK, in the United States, and increasingly in Europe, we are building businesses and creating opportunities. But entrepreneurship itself always begins with something very simple, a vision of a problem that can be solved in a better way. But before we talk about financial ventures, we must first understand what entrepreneurial venture actually is. I must confess, this is a bit different from what was propagated in the communication. But I felt it would be too dried up if we just face financial means alone. So I kind of modified it a bit. Don't worry, I won't read all that. The most important thing is you should have those keywords, and then so you can get along, or we can get along together. But of course, entrepreneurial venture is definitely not a small business, and they are actually ventures that were designed at the beginning to scale up very quickly and solve problems in an innovative way. And also, they are expected to grow really quickly, and they become very interesting to external investors and who then pump in money to really make these dreams come true, and they become big. One slight difference between small businesses is that they often focus on generating stable income for the owners and operate locally, while startups, however, are built to rapidly grow up. And if we look at keeping what I have said in mind, that they attract, what's it called? Capital ventures and investors, then what happened? Excuse me. To bridge the gap, I don't know what came over me, and I decided to use Miro, and I am using a free-based Miro, and started using it yesterday, and I noticed that this is definitely not working how I have expected it to work. So I hope, yes, this is the slide. Where did I stop? We talked about startup growing fast and attracting capital investors, and now we understand what the entrepreneurial venture is. So let me show you, or let's just move straight to the what's it called, the platform concept that I have talked about at the beginning, and show you how an idea can become a venture. Is it working? Yes, it is. Okay. This is part of what I talk about, but we'll look at that later, and you will see that the emoji there is actually not supposed to be faded the way it is. But let's just move on. Today, many people rely on fast food, and often this is standardized and unhealthy. And at the same time, there are thousands of talented cooks out there who have incredible cooking skills. However, they do not have the opportunity or the means to turn these cooking skills to a business. Consumers on the other side, however, are increasingly looking for fresh foods, authentic and locally produced. This creates a clear gap in the market, and Neighbor Eat is designed to connect these two groups: passionate home cooks and people looking for authentic homemade meals in their neighborhood. And that is the problem. And now that we understand it, let's move to the next question, and it's simple. What exactly is the solution? The solution is, of course, Neighbor Eat, a digital platform that is designed to connect three groups. First, like we have seen in the previous slide, the home cooks who want to share their meals and earn additional income. Second, consumers who are looking for authentic homemade food that is fresh and local. And third, event organizers who can use the platform to create cooking experiences and community food events. So the core value of Neighbor Eat is not just food sharing, but revolves about discovering food within your neighborhood, building community connections, and enabling people to monetize their cooking skills. Therefore, the vision for Neighbor Eat right now can be seen as turning neighborhood into local food markets. That is the solution. And now that we know the solution, the next question is a very important one, and it is how can a Neighbor Eat actually generate money? And in the next slide, we will see that in form of its value proposition, its revenue generation scheme, and everything. So for a startup, for a startup to be to attract funding, two things must be for sure, and these are extremely important. One of them is credibility, and the second is scalability. First, the business must have a clear revenue generation scheme, just like I have said. And for Neighbor Eat, the revenue generation is through transaction commissions, subscriptions from for cooks, advertisement on platform, and eventually data insight about food demands. And secondly, investors look into the market opportunities. And presently, for the global food market, it is enormously growing, and especially in the areas of ethnic and locally sourced food, the chances are looking very, very good. Even capturing a market share of as low as 1% could represent a multi-million opportunity. And what investors also do to start up is to evaluate the key factors. And these are credibility of the founders, the size of the market, and the scalability of the business model, and whether startup can gain traction. With this said, let's move on with the question on where can entrepreneurs get funding, especially in Germany. And that's the core of my talk today. So without wasting time, one of the major or the biggest advantage of building a startup in Germany is the availability of funding. The first category of them is the government's startup grants. This is majorly for or to support university-based founders, and it provides monthly stipends and also equipment for funding. I have put in an example with a link here. I will send the the slides afterwards, and whoever wants can probe deeper, but I am also open to collaborate, and we could probe deeper together. One of them I have put here is the exist startup. In the next slides, I will show you where and at what stage these people come in and start to support your venture plans. So, and also with a golden mark on it is to signify that, to my opinion, these are good stops for foreigners, and as the other ones, you probably at the beginning won't come to them. So I think they are not a good stops to start with. Secondly, the category of the the venture capitals, such as the high-tech Gründer Fund, which is done. I'm not sure if you can see my cursor, which is the HTGF. Just if you want, you can signify me if you can see my cursor or not. They're one of the German greatest, early stage investors, which can, thank you very much, which can provide up to €1 million in seed funding. The word seed is not difficult to know. You plant seeds and they grow up and you can harvest something out of it. The process is also very similar. When you come up with a business idea, they plant seeds in it, and when this business grows, they step out at some particular point, typically about 4 to 5 years, and then you're on and running alone. Well, I have my reservations about this because they pump in very large sum of money into it if you happen to be eligible for their fund, and then you work your ass out to get things to move. And the third one is the access to government-based loan, such as the KFV. So I think now you catch me using the KFW startup loan. So, which is low, thank you very much, which is of lower interest rate and longer repayment period. I strongly recommend this because I think due to its low interest rate, lower than the regular interest rate you will get from other banks, and also the long payment time. And if collaboratively put together, 2-3 people should be able to run heads as side business on such ventures, and things will go on fine. So the irony of it is many professionals do not realize that these funding opportunities are available for to even foreigners and professionals living in Germany. With that said, pardon me. With that said, pardon me, the last one is the angel investors, and these are also one of my favorites because they are very important because they are actually also entrepreneurs or professionals who invest their own money into early stage startup, and they do not just do the investment of money, they also give advice in form of mentorship, experience, and valuable network that can help startups grow. So, and one of the important organizations in Germany is the Business Angel Network in Deutschland, in Germany. So to give you a picture of all the four, were they four? There were five. All the four types that I have listed, the very most important one is the University Gründer Loan. They can really assist you relatively at the beginning. So when you just have you just have the idea, and if they check the idea that this idea is promising, they start pumping funds into you in form of monthly salary and equipments that you require. Then you move to the next stage where you already have prototype, and you are already either able to prove that this is something that is going to start selling or you are selling a bit but nothing reasonable, then you have KFV and the rest of them who are ready to invest into it. And the next stage are these angel investments. The angel investment are also my favorites because they don't just trust the money to you and let you work yourself to death. They also mentor you and give you access to professional network to get you going. But of course, the whole process is the same. At the end, they all either want to have a part of the company or they want to pull their money out with some percentage and do something else with it. So now that we've seen that, and I think that's enough about the possible means. The means are not reserved to those 4 or 5 that I have listed. The list is long. I decided just to put those 2 and stay at the time. Now that we've seen the funding reality, let's have a look at and compare the Nigerian versus German funding possibilities. In Nigeria, the interest rates for business loans, they are, I'm not sure, I think they should be about between 20 to 30% at the moment. Right?
About 30%.
Right about 30%. Okay, thank you very much. Which makes starting and scaling a business very, very difficult. And also, the government support for startups is still very, very limited, and the venture capital ecosystem is in its developing state. If you compare this to the German counterpart, the situation is very different. Interest rates are significantly lower and government support programs are extensive, and the venture capital ecosystem is very matured, although a bit reserved compared to their American counterparts and well established. So for looking at those loans, so when you compare 20 to 30% to 4 to 6%, so you know you're playing a different ball game. This creates major opportunity for Nigerian professionals living here or Africans at large. And if you come to think about it, back home, we succeed despite this system, and here the system helps you to succeed. And if this opportunity exists in Germany, the question is, how can we position ourselves to take advantage of them? So moving forward, African professionals in Germany are in a unique position because firstly, we have access to the European capital and funding systems that are much more supportive to the startups than those in developing markets, just like I have said in the previous slide. And secondly, many of us have strong technical academic training, which is essential for building innovative venture. And finally, we have access to the global market, both in Europe and internationally. And one more thing that I think is very powerful and should not be underestimated is the diaspora network, which means we have unique opportunity to our European counterpart, which is the connect to Africa, and then to what the European counterparts have, which is Europe and the global market. So we're in a position to build a bridge between continents through entrepreneurship. Therefore, the question is no longer because we know the opportunity exists. The question is, are we ready to take advantage of them? Let me leave you with a few thoughts or a few words. In the previous slides, I have said that Germany offers capitals, infrastructure, and opportunities for growth. And we Africans, on the other hand, bring resilience, creativity, and a strong problem-solving mindset. Growing up in Africa and growing up in Nigeria and across Africa instills a determination that is incredibly valuable. It is incredibly valuable because we do not back down. And when we, in different disciplines, put ourselves together to innovate, we can build bridges between Africa and the world, and we can combine opportunities with courage and collaboration and build something great. And this is what I stand for, and this is what I will be working towards in the next times. And I urge you guys to think about it if you just want to spend the next times in just working, or you want to spend some times in trying to innovate, solve problems, and you want to collaborate and put hands together to seeing how this can happen. With that said, I have come to the end of my presentation, and I will be more than happy to answer any questions that you have on most especially these three topics: startups, labor aid as a venture concept, and collaboration opportunities. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Richard Kenneth. I will first ask my first question, but before that, I think from my understanding, I understand that as a professional, it's one of the biggest challenge that we have is that we as engineers, we always think more of designing, we always think more of building something, but we are not really thinking about the business part of what you are building. We only build applications, we only build something, we only work for a company. We don't really have this entrepreneurship mindset. How can, as an engineer, how can you think as an entrepreneur? How can you utilize the tool that you have as an engineer to also be more entrepreneurship in nature?
Very good question, which I should just go ahead and answer. You know, at the beginning, I said we are trained to find solution, and that is it. So what the majority of us don't do is we do not go one step further. We can build, we build solutions already. Like you have rightly said, we have to become entrepreneur. And that is where the thing is. We are so stuck with our traditional way of doing business, which is earning money for the owner to like stay over water, I would say, rather than thinking in the big picture. So we have to start thinking on what problems can I solve aside my day-to-day job that will revolutionize things. So if we start that, then the next question we want to ask ourselves is, if it is not new, how can we do it better and outsmart the the current situation in the market? And the next question is, how easy is that? We are already being entrepreneurial if these questions are being asked. And the funniest thing is, I showed you the prototype on NeighborIt already. If you think this is a very simple solution, you might want to give me a thumbs up. But we don't think over this. Just think of it for a minute. If you have this, I know a lot of you used to work in the bank on Victoria Island or wherever. Just think about it for a minute and think about how many thousands of people in Nigeria, let's take Nigeria for an example, that are willing to cook, do not have money for a restaurant. They are very good cook. They could cook actually and supply to the neighbors. Is this so? So what I'm trying to bring to the light is solutions must not be difficult. We just have to find the simple ones, put them to work, and become innovators.
Thank you very much for the response. I think that was very, very clear. I think as engineers, we should always think about solutions to problems around. There's always a problem. There's any problem that you are going to look at that solution and see how you can maximize this as a business way, in a business way. Okay, I will move on. Do we have any other questions? Do we have people that have questions in mind regarding this topic?
For me, it's not a question, just wanted to add a little. And that's pointing back to your own question, which was many engineers actually have the mindset of developing things and creating things and actually not thinking about the business part of it. That struck a chord because some years ago, I actually wrote an article on this exact topic. It's on LinkedIn. Probably I'll share the link later. And I also thought about this when I saw the movie How America Was Built. And this movie took me through the path to see the real inventors in America, Nikola Tesla, all of those. However, the people who actually made the money from all of those things were businessmen. They came around to buy the businesses of these inventors. And since then, it just struck a chord in me. And one thing I also wanted to add to this is we are at an age now where we need to know our strengths and also be able to ask for help in areas where we are not strengthened. So as engineers, my own advice would be always ensure you have someone on your side who can help with the financial part of things while you think about the business side of things. This is what I would say. Thank you.
You're welcome. Adeolu. Next question.
So for me, I just want to latch on what everybody has said so far because we are in Germany and it's also important that we are also thinking about our retirement. While we are trying to make the money now, we should also try and work towards savings. I like what Robert John has been doing in the group that has been posting updates about investment also in the group. Popola just mentioned that it's also good to have a financial person to work with. So it's always good as well to have this at the back of our mind because it doesn't matter. I want to speak German. It doesn't matter how long or how much we earn. The time will come when this income will stop. And if you don't have any business in place, if you don't have anything that you have invested for yourself to latch back on, we all know that the pension system in Germany is nothing to write home about. And even our chancellor did a video about it on Instagram that was also posted some time ago. And they were saying a little 10 euro, a little 20 euro, a little 50 euro goes a long way in securing one's future. And even what Robert John is also trying to tell us in the group, what he posts regularly, it's not just about, like some people would say, timing the market, when to go in, when to go out. It's not about timing, but it's the consistency that matters. It doesn't matter if you are doing 1,000 euro, it doesn't matter if you are doing 10 euro, it doesn't matter even if you are doing 25 euro, but what matters is that you should start something. So, like I also already mentioned earlier during my introduction, I'm also a finance expert. So, in case anybody is also interested, and we are also still looking for business associates as well. So, if anybody is interested in becoming a financial guru, and we do several trainings alongside to build up our people, and just to also work towards having a secured retirement, you can always reach out to me in the group. So that will be all for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adeolu. Thank you, everyone. As you can hear from all these guys, they know what you're talking about. If you're just in Germany or you are planning to come to Germany, think about how can I maximize all these opportunities around me. Germany has a lot of opportunity, but if you don't know it, you don't know it. I wish 10 years ago, or maybe 8 years ago when I came, I had been able to have all this knowledge that I have right now. It will have really been beneficial for me. Okay, let's go. The next topic we have right now is regarding our second presenter. And the person is the person of Mr. David. I think he's already here and he's already waiting for me to say, please move on. He's going to be talking about navigating through an engineering career in Europe, especially in Germany. David, you have the floor.
So once again, good afternoon, everyone. I'm currently sharing my screen. Please, I'd just like to get a feedback if you can see what I'm currently sharing.
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is David Popola. Some people call me Oluwasedago, and that's also the name I have on many of my socials. Today, I'll be talking about navigating an engineering career in Germany. I also put caveats there, which is from my own perspective, right? And this is a complete personal experience and point of view, because my point of view could be different from someone else's point of view. And because it's from my own perspective, I'll be using my own personal story. Before going into that, I would like to seek your permission, just in case I'm expecting something, a delivery. So just in case the bell rings, I might take one minute away from the seats. And also, I'm currently babysitting today. So just in case my chairman comes to this position, please pardon me. So I'll proceed now. And yeah. So for me, I'd say my engineering career started somewhere in Lagos in the year 2010. That was somewhere in my fourth year in the university and at Lautech in Nigeria. I had my 6-7 month SciWest program in our fourth year. And this was where I was really exposed to the full industrial engineering. So I did my COS, my training somewhere in an organization called MATC, where I was exposed to wiring panels, physical devices were in my hands for the first time, like contactors, power circuit breakers. And this was also the first time that I actually got in-depth use of AutoCAD. So it was the first time I got exposed to real physical electrical devices. It was the first time I got exposed to softwares in the industry as a whole. I eventually finished my degree sometime in 2011, and after NYSC and all of that, I got a job in 2013. So the first job I got was actually a very rough one. I was earning around 20,000 Naira a month. But then it was fun. It was fun for me. It was fun to me. So I was supposed to work just a shift during the 3-time shifts, just like we have currently in Germany. But I would do more than a shift, right? Because it was the first time that I was employed. I was in the industry. I was doing a lot of things. I was taking responsibilities, basically. So many times I would plan maintenance. I would do overnight shifts. I wasn't looking at the money at the time. But along the line, I told myself, okay, if I dedicate my full 100% of time into this, then I would actually not grow as a person. So I spoke with the employer and I told them that I actually wanted to take a weekend course. And so every weekend on the Saturdays, I would not be coming to work. That made them reduce my salary to 15,000. They took out 5,000 from it. But I didn't care at the time because I knew that, okay, as much as I'm enjoying this, this is not what I wanted to do forever. So at that point in time, I knew that along the line, the discussion about money would always come, and I need to always know what would be my answers between my career or the money point. To say I was lucky at the point in time because I was living with my parents, of course, so that was possible. After that, I got a job briefly somewhere in Abuja, and I worked in the energy industry, and that was just for like 2 to 3 months. And after that, that was when I got into an organization called ADECO, where I actually did my grind years. So when I say grind years, these were the years where I actually really learned a lot of things, where I actually suffered, to be sincere with you. And this was when I actually really got a lot of experience. So I'll go back to the previous slide, and I want to mention something. I would like you to keep an eye on this white band as I proceed with this presentation. So please just keep your eyes on this white band. So now, on this particular job, I spent 5 years doing this job across Nigeria, different countries in Africa, and many times I was also navigating between Nigeria and Europe and some Asian countries as well. I was working with my company, but servicing companies like Heineken, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, and other manufacturing companies. What I was doing then was PLC programming. I was doing a lot of factory acceptance work, site acceptance executions. I was designing electrical panels. I was doing business development on the side because we had a lot of technicians, but very few engineers. And you would understand the difference between a technician and engineer if you actually, of course, like many of us, have gone through the university system. Now, I was able to sell our products to our customers, not just the technical part, but I was able to sell our products in terms of numbers, discussions, and descriptions. So in that way, I saw that, okay, it seems I might develop my career not just as one leg frontier as an engineer. I could try and put business engineering into it as well. So my chairman is here. Come. Sorry. Sorry, guys.
No worries.
I think I need 1 minute, please.
No worries. No worries. I
Just
think
1 minute.
I can actually also support in this book.
Okay, thanks. Just 1 minute, please.
Kids are very important. I think I also have one, so I know what it is to have a kid around. So yeah, I think I want to buttress on some of the points that you are talking about. I remembered during my industrial training program when I was in Nigeria, I also worked with some equipment. I worked for the Equipment Maintenance Center, University of Ibadan. I think that was the period of my life that I would say I suffered. I suffered like I suffered my ass off, and I was not being paid. I was not being paid. I would go every day just to go there, just because I want to learn something, regarding equipment. So
Okay, so
yeah,
thank you very much. I'm back now.
Yeah.
Come, let me carry. Okay, so when I realized that I could also function somehow as a salesperson, I could sell engineering, not just do engineering, I decided to start an MBA alongside. And this was one very important part in my career because I used to travel a lot to fix different machines in different organizations. So when I took my MBA and at some point I needed to write exams, my CEO of the organization where I was working was always asking me, why am I taking holidays to write exams? And I told him, yeah, I'm doing an MBA. And he mentioned, why are you doing an MBA? You're an engineer, you don't need an MBA. But I told him, of course, sir, I would not be traveling forever to fix machines. At some point, I would want to be in management as an engineer. I want to be an engineering manager. I want to manage people. I want to manage businesses, even when I own mine, or even if I keep working in the organization. But is the way he replied and his countenance, of course, made me realize that was not the vision the organization had for me. But I knew the vision I had for myself. And that was when I started planning, okay, I think it's time to start moving on now. Now, why I share this story is because there currently either you're sitting in your local country right now, you're thinking of leaving your country to travel to maybe somewhere Nigeria, USA, and the likes. I would always say that your home advantage always gives you a major advantage. And the reason is because where you start from reduces a lot of pressure on you. You don't have the pressure of settling down into a new country. You're already a native of that country in terms of speaking the language that is already spoken in that country. So you're able to move at a faster pace than when you move into a new country, because you need to settle down, probably learn a new language, probably get an education. So I would say, if you're currently at a place where you're thinking about, should I get my first experience here and then move, or should I just move and find my first experience? It's a personal decision, but I would say your home would always give you a major advantage. So please think about it very well, because that would help you in making this decision. As you can see on this band, some skills have been added to this, and this was based on my job in this organization. So, okay. Yeah. So in 2019, I decided to move to Germany. In Nigeria, we call that Jakpa. I decided to move because number one, like I told you, I wanted a fresh experience. Number two, I had already decided that if I was going to take an MSc, I wanted it to be in another country. You understand? I didn't just want to take an MSc because of taking an MSc. And I'd already been out of school for 8 years at the time, or 9 years, because I graduated 2011. And he stopped that. So I have something in red here. I say,
no worries.
I hope this noise is not disturbing, is it?
Maybe you
it's
can
fine
maybe
for some of us, or for most of us, or let me say
We're
some of us.
fine.
Let me
We're
say most.
fine. Just go.
Okay.
Yeah, but the question is, are we not disturbing the kid?
Okay, let me take 1 minute to see
minute.
whatever he needs. Thank
Exactly.
you. Thank you.
Exactly, yeah.
We can wait, or we should be able to wait.
Just do that. I mean, while we're waiting, is anybody does anybody has a question regarding what we've said so far along the line? Are
I
you?
think I might have a question somehow.
Yeah,
Not
please.
for me personally, like hearing about this engineering thing and all, because I always used to think that be like in the engineering field, you need to have like a C1 level of German to work here in Germany and all of that. So, I mean, if someone who studied mechanical engineering, in this case, not like electrical, and wants to move to Germany, what would really be like their focus on? I mean, I'm seeing that he said we should pay attention to all of these things here. I'm seeing he's got like some programming skills, and not every every engineer has got programming skills as well. So, I don't know. Let's just assume you have only your AutoCAD, you have the mechanical bachelor of mechanical engineering degree with you, and little to no German at this point, and you want to move to Germany. What would be the goal? What would be the path a person could follow?
Does anyone want to yeah, Kenneth, you can ask that question. I think these are all experienced engineers. Kenneth, you can.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Fine, I can just go ahead.
Okay.
But
I think it's back.
Yeah, I'm actually back. Sorry, guys.
Olivia, we will come back to your answer. I've already taken the question ground right
No
now.
problem. Thank
While
you.
the speaker continues, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, guys. I'll just quickly go through this. So, I put something in cavity here, and I say, when you want to leave your country, I would say, this is an opportunity to start afresh, or to double down on your strengths. So many people see leaving their country as just an opportunity to leave their country, and they don't usually use that opportunity to either double down on the strengths they're bringing from their local countries, or to actually start a new path. So, for example, many people did not research their coming to Germany. Many people did not research what kind of education they needed to get, what kind of skills they needed to acquire, and they just moved. So many people came in with different programs. For example, you studied bachelor's in something that now you've graduated, it's very hard to get a job, or master's, and now it's very hard to get a job, or probably a degree that now requires the language at very high levels. So I would say, please use this opportunity to start afresh. I usually tell many people, if you tell me the bachelor's you study back in Nigeria and you say you want to come to Germany, I would either tell you to take a master's directly in that program that you've done, which means you might be doubling down on your strength, or probably just take another bachelor's degree. The new bachelor's degree already gives you a fresh start, already gives you another branch. And that's what many people do not usually realize. So for me, well, I came into Germany, and what I did was I took automation and industrial IT at TH Cologne. And there I was exposed to a different kind of education. I learned Python, R, data mining, different courses, of course. I'm not an expert in all of this, but I have some experiences in this. After that, I took up a project manager job at Picanova. It was also brief because then I decided, okay, now I need to take my thesis so that I can finish this program. Now, at this point, I also need to mention, I've seen so many foreigners come into the country, and because they get a job that pays maybe 1,200 per month, they forget about the education. They forget about what actually happens after the education or after the job itself is gone. So we all need money to pay our bills, but we also must ensure that we plan our career actually perfectly, so that what we currently have in point in time, which pays our bill, does not become our long-term job or skills. I hope I'm not taking much time here. Now, after that, I did my thesis at a company in Bonn. At first, I applied for master's degree. I got in as an engineering assistant. According to them, I need to work with them for 3 months before they can offer me a thesis opportunity, which I took. So in total, I spent 9 months with them. And after that was when I got my first major job in Germany. Now, I would say again, your thesis is your first real interview. It's your first real, I would say, your first real product that you can show to the German market. Whatever you bring from outside, of course, it's from outside. But whatever you show from internal is from internal. And because the industries in Germany are heavily sponsored, the schools in Germany are heavily sponsored by the industry. Whatever you bring from the school to show to the industry is usually very, very accepted and highly rated. So I would say when choosing your thesis topics or the projects that you do in school, please ensure it's something that you know you can present later to the organizations. Now, breaking into the German market, I'll just quickly rush through this. I think I've taken much of your time. One is specialized, but be very flexible, right? Now, I'm very good with PLC programming. I think I'm a specialist in that regards, although I don't do that anymore. But I don't call myself a PLC programmer. I call myself electrical controls automation engineer because, of course, this is actually what I do. It also sounds better on your CV. It sounds better for your career as well. Be open to various industries. See, I've seen many people, I also tell this to my mentees, I've seen many people double down on just one industry, right? For example, you're only very experienced in, let me say, the automotive industry, right? And then somewhere along the line, the world automotive business crashes. Your career crashes with that industry. I always advise engineers, very early in your career, try to move around. Work in automotive, work in healthcare, work in power, work in civil, work in different organizations. It helps you to get different experiences across different industries. And then you're industry proof, which means whatever happens to any industry, you can always move to other industries. For myself, I started with food and beverage. I moved to automation services. I did power. I did automotive, building automation. Now I'm currently in power. And number two, I've said this before, leverage your thesis. German universities are heavily funded by the industries. And the third one is connection and visibility. Please make use of your social media. We're in Germany. Nobody really cares. Nobody really cares about you. Nobody looks at you. But of course, many of them look into LinkedIn, Zing, those kind of places. So sell yourself there, connect with people and pursue knowledge. Now, I've also seen many people complain about the country or about the industries. This is a fact. The world is changing at a very fast pace and nobody cares about you. There are no excuses. Try and change with the world. The way the world is changing, change with it. Do your best. So the real pain points are why the German engineering dreams feels very hard and what to do about it. Many people come into Germany with no local experience, nothing they've done in the country where they come from, and that's hard. Germans would look at your skills first, then look at your documentations second, right? They want skills. So how do you get that? Do internships, right? You can, my program was supposed to be just direct 4 semesters, but because I added internship to it, I made it 5 semesters. That internship actually got me my job, my first job. So always try and analyze things and always try and do those internships. Look for it. Your thesis also, like I've mentioned, don't just do something that's easy. I just need something I want to submit, I want to graduate. No, do something that actually makes sense. In the university, that's where you have time to make some mistakes, you can learn, and you can improve on yourself. Also, if it's possible, look for part-time jobs, right? Germans hardly change jobs. I don't know if many of you know this. They hardly change jobs. So entry-level jobs are usually some ways by which you can enter into the industry. You might be coming with a lot of experiences from where you're coming from. For example, myself, I was coming with 6 or more years experience from Nigeria, but I started with internship. I started with engineering assistant before I got into a major position. So number 2, there is credential confusion. We feel like the degrees we have from different countries we're bringing into here are same rated here in Germany. No, they're not. So please, if you're outside Germany, there's a platform called Anabin. Many people in Germany already know that. Check that. See where your current degree is rated. See where it stands in Germany. This helps you to make decision of either coming with bachelor's or master's. And I usually say a master degree bypasses most issues, right? So if you're coming with bachelor's or even a master's in Nigeria or any other country, doing another master's in Germany just cuts off all those your former degrees and helps to put you in front of a recruiter, right? And again, I would say networking and referrals. I've referred so many people that I don't even know. You just drop me a message on LinkedIn. I ask for your CV. If I look at the CV and I look at the job that you want to apply to and I see that it fits, I do a referral. I don't need to know you, right? And I would assume it's the same for many other people as well. So please send those referrals. Ask people for referrals. Another thing is referrals always have internal incentives. Many people that refer you, if you get the job, they will pay them. For example, my organizations where I've worked in the past, if I refer someone and they employ the person, I will get money, right? So, and it's the same for many other organizations. So don't think it too hard. If you see a job, look for somebody in that organization, ask them to refer you. It works like that. Want water? Take. So, for many people who are outside Germany, if you want to study engineering in Germany, I would say please look into electrical engineering, mechatronics, automation and IT, mechanical engineering, electrical, computer, machine learning itself. Machine learning because the world of AI right now. And in my own experience, these are like the main core of the German economy, engineering. If you're looking for scholarships, there are many scholarship programs in Germany. There is the DAT, there is the Deutschland Stipendium. Myself, I got the Deutschland Stipendium after I started my first semester here in Germany. There's BAföG, and I dropped the link here as well. I can also share this on the group later, where you can find numerous scholarship opportunities or funding opportunities. There are also quite a few ones that are not really state or global, private, and sometimes social or religious. I know of the ESG, There is specific one I also got, ESG Cone. They are also in different states as well. So you can also Google that. Another option I usually advise people, especially someone who is not really academically savvy, house building is a way. Many of us Nigerians, or many of us have, I would say, yeah, many of us Nigerians, because I know other Africans or other countries make use of this house building very well. House building is like a double degree kind of. And with house building, you can go directly into the organization where you would eventually work and learn with them. And this is also a very powerful one for people who might not have education on their mindset. Yeah, so many people complain about languages. Right now, we see that B1 is no longer sufficient, but many master's engineering programs are still in English. There are many bachelors in German. A few of them are still in English. Apply to them, take them. Never stop learning. When you get into the industries, promotion depends on languages. I can tell you that for sure, especially if you're in a core engineering organization. Your promotions depend on how much you can speak as well. As much as you're technically savvy, your languages are very important. Now, for people who are not already in Germany, I would say, please start learning before you arrive. And I would advise that you pay personally to learn. Don't depend on what your organization offers. Probably somebody, an organization is bringing you to Germany, will pay for your language school. That's perfect. But I've seen that that's never sufficient. We have to go out there and chase this knowledge ourselves. English will not carry you far. Even sometimes in my organization, we use English as official languages. Before you know, it defaults to German. It's just where we are. We have to adapt. And I've said this before, your language is promotion. So after my thesis, I worked at Tesla for 2 years. If there's anybody here who's also worked at Tesla or you know the factory very well, here is the cell production factory where Tesla produces battery. I actually did the complete automation of this building. I led the complete automation and designed the software in this automation. Now, here, I was exposed to another type of working lifestyle, which was complete American kind of lifestyle. I met wonderful people. I learned a lot of politics as well. But then it got to a point I felt like as much as the organization can offer me, or as much as I can offer the organization, it was time to go. This is something that many people do not learn. And I always tell people, as much as you do your job, always sniff around, always know your position in the organization, always know when to leave, always know when to stay. That's also very, very important. Currently, I work at GE, and it's been a little over 2 years now. What I do these days is, to be sincere, is quite less hectic than what I did at Tesla, but quite more managerial, because now I lead some people, I lead some systems, I lead some designs, and we're currently working on projects on developing electrification for Europe as a whole, because Europe is trying to move away from being gas dependent, especially due to the war that is going on with Russia. So you can see on this whiteboard, I don't know how many of you kept your eyes on this, and these are the skills that I acquire along the line. Now, I'm not 100%, I would say, a specialist on all of the skills, but these are skills that if I want to apply to any job, I can put on it. I can put on the job. I can put on my CV. Sorry, and I can defend them if that's necessary. Now, why do I put this here? I put this there because for many of us, for example, if you stay in an organization, you're only using 2 or 3 softwares and you're there for 10 years, right? So you only have these 3 skills. You become a specialist on these 3 skills. However, other industries, other organizations are using something differently. and you would never learn them. And those might be the things that would actually stop you from changing jobs, because now you are very, very dependent on the organization that you currently work for. So, but when you're able to move across different industries, different organizations, you're able to also acquire a lot of skills that become yours over time. Now, the real picture. I've said a lot of things. Many people think an engineering career looks like this: one step up, 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 up. No. Actually, it looks somewhat like this. As long as you're not stagnant, as long as you keep learning, you keep going, you are going upwards. This is how a career looks like. At some points in my life, I've questioned myself, is this what I really want to do? I'm tired of this job, things like that. It happens to everyone. Sometimes you're confused. What am I actually doing? I'm not enjoying this, I'm not doing this. But that's how the engineering career is. As long as you're not stagnant, you're moving. So these days, what do I do aside my job? I'm running mentorship programs. I started a foundation last year where I'm mentoring students from the university. I'm teaching PLC programming. And I also started a YouTube video alongside where I record these YouTube videos. And I also started a new channel some days ago where I talk about AI, techs, and gadgets. And due to the new buzz in AI, I started creating softwares with AI as well. My ideas for you to get ahead, because I'm ending this right now, is number one, you have to define what you want yourself. Nobody will define it for you. Nobody. You have to define it yourself. Distractions will always come. Various options will always come. Your goal will always remain the only truth, because eventually you sit down with yourself and ask, is this really what I want to do? At some point before I finished my thesis, I got an offer with Amazon. And it was a big offer because then I was doing lager job and then I got an offer. But I knew it was not what I wanted. So I just pushed it aside. Again, I've mentioned this: know when to stay, know when to leave. Be informed of the politics surrounding your career and know your place in your organization before it becomes too late. Always be one step ahead. Know when to redefine your path. Know when to say, okay, now I need to change my point of view. I need to actually change what I want to become. You have to be flexible. That's the beautiful thing about engineering. You have to be flexible. Always document your journey. If you don't, it just becomes ramblings. Always document it. Document your success and your failures. They help you over time. And the last one is never stop learning. Never stop. Please, I will say this again, never stop learning. Everything is moving very fast now. You just sleep, you're gone. The industry leaves you far behind. So never stop learning. And we're also at the period where information is out there. So please just make use of it. Thank you very much. And if you have questions, I'm happy to take them.
Thank you very much, Mr. David Popola. This is fantastic presentation. This is very, very informative, and I can see a lot of people already nodding their head, even in the background. I don't see you, but I know you are already nodding your head on the ground. Okay. Before we move to the question and answer, I know a lot of people have some questions, but there is something I want you guys also know. David talked about the way people are embracing software development, how people are building things, how he's also doing this in his field. We have some guys also, some of our members that already have some softwares that they have developed, and they would like to show you. So I want you to stay tuned. After this Q&A, one of us will present some of the fantastic software they've defined. But before that, let's just take questions. I have a question from Olivia. I think, Olivia, if you are there, do you want to ask again, or do you want me to just quickly wrap the question up for David?
Just quickly wrap it up, I guess. Thank you.
Yes, what she said is that she said taking engineering profession in Germany is quite challenging, especially for someone coming from Nigeria, especially the language. How can, what are, especially getting to know what is required. Right now, the labor market is quite very challenging right now. Coming from Nigeria with language, it's also more challenging. Is there any way that one can combine skills together with this language, or you can just come with the skill alone, or you don't even need anything to come? Which way would you recommend?
Well, if you have the skills, it's always very, very good. Number one. I came to Germany because if you talk about engineering worldwide, Germany is number one. Engineering, I'm not talking about science or tech or whatever. Engineering, Germany is number one. So I would say if you have the skills, perfect. Learn the language. If you don't have the skills, go into the education. Germany prides in their education for their industries. So that's one of the major ways you can go in. I've been on recruiting boards where people are qualified with their skills, but the organization wants to know what kind of education they had in the past. And when they could not verify those, they had to move them aside. So please, if you're able to get education, get them. There are many bachelor's degrees that are just 6 semesters. So that's 3 years. Either you do it or not, 3 years would come, right? So you can switch to engineering with bachelor's, which is usually what I would advise. And with that, there are many students positions. There are many organizations that also take student trainees. We have quite a lot of them. Somebody posted about Tesla as well. I know before I left Tesla, there were a lot of student positions opened. So Germany is filled with a lot of engineering organizations, and vast studentship, you can get these opportunities. So please, if you find it confusing on how to get in, just go through the education routes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're welcome, Olivia. I think your question has been answered. Another question, do we have anybody in the house that also want to ask a question? I think, Ken, do you raise your hand or you just want to chip in? Kenneth.
It's fine. I will just chip in a bit to what David said. Aside from really doing what you do right now and doing it really well and going through the educational system and trying to do internships and the rest of them, it is very important for you to know that when you study an engineering course, let me take the mechanical engineering, for example. You heard him said he did project management at some point. So not everybody will do the engineering task itself per se. Some of them will go into sales with engineering technical background to be able to explain to either customers, and some of them will go into service, and some of them will do what you call project management, and the rest of them, so the list is long, but having this technical background is definitely a prerequisite for you to go into one of these. And then so you want to know who you are. If you are vibrant in connecting and talking to people, you want to have customer connections, or you want to go into lead and mediate, or and the rest of it. So in all, to my opinion, if you are really a go-getter, the language is definitely very, very helpful. But I mean, it betters your chances out there, but still you have the chances.
Okay, we're running out of time. Adeolu, you'll be the last person to chip in. Okay.
What I would just want to say is that it's also, he has already said everything. The studies again is a very good thing. But lastly, what one can also do while you're studying, try to attend as many conferences as possible if you already have the skills back home from Nigeria. Because I remembered my first job, or my first internship that I got was, I would say my path is also similar to him. I had the banking, I was in the banking sector. I studied engineering in Nigeria. Was in the bank for 8 years. Came here because I was tired of the banking sector, and I had to start again. Although I had an MBA from Nigeria as well, and I had to do another MSc. And when my first job, even the internship itself, I got it from a conference. My first job, I got it also from a conference. So I would say attend as many professional events, and we have so many of them. Even though your language might not be so perfect at the beginning, try to still network. You also mentioned that too. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We are moving on to the next agenda. Olagoke, if you are there, you can share your screen for the short demo, just 5 to 10 minutes. I think that should be a very fantastic demo for everyone who wants to see how software engineering has actually enacted our group. And finally, for everyone that you are here as well, remember that the introduction to vibe coding is also cooking. That will be a very interesting aspect for you as well. Olagoke, are you able to share your screen? I think you are also a
yeah, thank you. Let me try if this works now. Let me know if you see my screen, please. So that will be helpful.
Yes, perfect.
Awesome. Can you see the slides or what do you see? Cool.
Yes, we can.
That's right now. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm gonna go forward with just taking ahead from what the previous speaker already said. I think basically first thing is the career and then looking for your passion. I think for me, the journey is a bit different because I didn't start from the engineering field. So I studied environmental science at the University of Cologne, then did a couple of internships, perhaps at VII, at the United Nations, and then started working in a consulting company. So within this consulting company, I was a consultant, then realized, I think, going by what the previous speaker also said, you want to improve your skill. And that's when I, told my director then that I want to do some courses on data science and machine learning. Nicely, I mean, depending on the size of the company, this is something that could also get paid for by the Agentur for Arbeit. Even though you're still working, you still get some funding. So the cost was around 10,000 euros something, and it was still funded. So after the course was when I developed some passion for, developing some solutions for people, because from my side, what I remember when I was studying was, especially in Nigeria, where, when I studied at the University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, you have a lot of study material, but you really don't understand what to do with them. So based on my knowledge that I gained while I was, doing this course, then I thought of, developing a solution alongside with a friend, Victor. So we developed an interactive study companion called Study Assist. So I'll walk you through it and in the end, give you a demo of how this looks like presently. So the whole slide will go in this way. So my slide is a bit designed because coming from a consulting field, it has to be shiny. So just in case you're looking at what's going on here. So we're going to have an introduction to Study Assist, problem statement, Study Assist in a nutshell, and then we go through the demo. So what is Study Assist? So we call it as the fastest way to turn your class notes into personalized quiz. So you're able to upload your class notes and then you generate quiz from that. And then you then are able to practice what's potentially coming out in your exam. So for me, at least personally, for my story, what I was missing back then when I was studying was the ability to be able to predict what's going to come out. Like you just study a whole lot of materials, but you're not able to practice. So you go to the exam of being scared. So kind of the solution we're trying to generate here. So we realize part of the problem is that students don't fail because they don't study. It is they fail because they study inefficiently. Reading, you have to read a lot of notes and sometimes it doesn't stick. So you have too many slides, too little clarity. Students don't know what they would be tested on. So we then, from that, get an insight that, from a little bit of study we've conducted around students as well, that grades correlate strongly with practice question, really, that the more you practice, the better your grade. And Also, generate AI tool, generate unfocused on inaccurate questions. So what we realize from what's out there is that, a lot of AI tools that are super general are not tailored towards the solution. They're not really focused on generating accurate question. And there's a need for quizzes based on student exact course materials. Thereby, we're helping to increase preparedness and help students to study more efficiently. So what do we call study assist in this sense? So study assist helps you to turn your students or lecture slide into something readable. So you get an auto summary from your lecture slides. You get exam start practice question, you get a score tracking that helps you to measure your readiness for the exam. So depending on how much you do of your quizzes, then you can decide on, how better are you during these different quizzes. And why are we doing this now? It's that, there's been a lot of, especially AI tools, but the trust is low. So you're really not able to say, okay, is this really asking me questions based on my notebook or is just going outside my notebook? Students are overwhelmed with generic AI tools. So we're trying to create a tailored solution in here that, you upload your notebook and within minutes, like less than 2 minutes, you're actually practicing on the go what could potentially come out in your exams. So, and there's a clear shift towards outcome-based learning. People really want to be able to measure, at least from a KPI perspective, be able to say, okay, this is what I studied, this is my outcome, and then that's prior to the exam. So you're able to gain more confidence. So, and now we see that the market is also ready for AI that are specific, accurate, and trusted. And that leads me to the demo. With that, we go to the studyassist.com. So I'm going to open that now. And here comes the studyassist.com, starting from home. So when you get to the home section of the page, you click on Get Started, it takes you here. You're able to upload. So I'm just going to try that with some materials that I maybe have on my desktop right now. So I could probably just do some here. Let me take this one. So you have it selected and then you click on upload. Then it takes a while before your upload is completed. So I already, pre-uploaded one because it's the tool also allows you to switch in between different notebooks, so you can actually be practicing on the go what you're gonna have to do in your exam. I mean, sometimes, at least I remember in India, you have exam back to back, so you could have biology, you could have chemistry, so you could switch in between those two textbooks and just practice your exams on the go. So once this is done now, this is already something that was uploaded before. And then the second one, once it's completed, which you just did, then we could switch between this, so which is the one we just uploaded, and then this, which is the one that was previously uploaded. So I could ask any question on this, or let's just say generate some practice questions based on these essentials for biology textbooks. So with that, you wait for some few minutes and then you're able to generate some questions that are basically focused on what was uploaded. With that, you just hear, I'm not a biology expert at this point because I more or less studied environmental science, which is a bit related, but I'm not going to have to read everything now so as to save us some time. So I'm just going to select some few random questions here. And then when you submit, I'll leave a sticker somewhere, which is nice. So you got your score, you're able to see what your scores are, then you could view your scores here. So the more you do, the more you're getting better based on the scores that you've basically done in this sense. And that's something that we are offering from here. And you can as well, I believe we could try it again with this one where I will show you how you could as well use this as a teacher.
Yeah, Mr. Olag, okay, sorry. I think we need to wrap up because our next presenter is also waiting. We just have 2 minutes just to wrap up. Yeah.
No worries, I'm almost done actually. Thank you for the time. So here, if you don't submit your answers at all, you could actually export the PDF. And then, so this is something that is not answered. Then you have the questions being written, and then this can be something, if you're a teacher, that you just give your students, and then you have your answer key separately. So when they answer that, you can use this to mark their results. So you don't have to have to set exams from the beginning. So that's something we've created, and it's free to use. Happy for you to test and provide feedback on that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone. I think the last presenter, we are running out of time already. Robert, if you are here, we are introducing you now to the floor to talk about introduction to vibe coding. Robert, if you are there, please.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm sorry I have to leave at 6 because I was supposed to speak between 5:15 to and catch a flight. But I'll still try to make good use of it. I want to just see if I can share my screen. Can you see the entire screen? Can you see my screen now?
Not yet. Not yet.
What of now? Can you see it now?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I think you are a co-host, so you should be able to share your screen.
Okay, let's see. Let's try again. Okay, you should be able to see my screen now, right?
Yes, we can see your screen. Correct.
Okay. Normally, I had some presentation. I wanted to demo how to vibe code real time, but I guess I only have about 10 minutes. But I'm still going to try to get the best use of it, just to pass the knowledge. First, a bit about me. I don't want to talk so much about me. I'm John Robert. I had my bachelor's in computer science, my master's in AI. I came into Germany in 2018, so I studied machine learning already from 2018. Worked a bit at Mercedes self-driving car, worked at Bosch, worked at some other companies, and now I'm working at Hamburg in a energy company, but helping them to do some prediction with AI and some data engineering on how they generate electricity in Germany. I've done a couple of projects, also spoken in a couple of conferences. I spoke in PyCon last year. I'm going to speak again in PyCon this year. Spoke at multiple conferences in Europe and also in the US. But today we want to focus on vibe coding. So I'm sure most of us will have heard the word vibe coding. The word was actually created by Andrew Carpati. If you don't know him, he was the former director of AI in Tesla. I know him a long time ago. Met him once in Canada during the conference in Europe. So what vibe coding is just about is that what is vibe? Vibe is that you are just trying to do something that is not necessarily deep knowledge about it. That's exactly what vibe is. And what vibe coding is that you don't need to study computer science like me or like others, or do some boot camp, that you can actually build application based on just prompt. So today I'm just showing this image from Bit44. Bit44 is also a vibe coding tool, and they add simple 4 steps of vibe coding, which is the first thing you just need to have is the idea. So you just describe the idea. And then the second thing is you describe the idea to a tool, and this tool generates the code and create the applications for you. And based on what it creates, you can refine these ideas or refine what it creates, change the colors and things like that. And you see the feedback from it. And then the endpoint is the deployment. Most of the time, this number 4 is what most people don't do. So you see a lot of demo online where people create things, but then they don't deploy it to like a website. Like what the previous speaker just did now is he showed a quiz generating app and things like that, and then he deployed it on a website. So you can do that by yourself also using any of these vibe coding tools. But since I don't have a lot of time, I don't want to show like slide. I just want to allow us to understand what vibe coding means based on our expertise. So I have this image here. There are different types of vibe coding tools, and I use quite a number of them. But based on your expertise, it depends on which one you should start with. So for instance, here they divided it into 3 different types. We have the front end and deployment, where you have things like Lovable, you have things like Vercel. So you just describe what you want, create the front end, and it helps with the deployment. This is good for people that don't know anything about tech, that know nothing about how software works. They just have an idea and they want to create something. So you can also use Base for this. But then there's a deeper level, which is for smart IDs. Smart IDs are majorly for developers. You can, if you're not a tech person, you can also use this smart IDA, but it requires higher level of technicality. I'm going to show you an example of this. It requires higher level of the technicality, but it's better because you can do a lot more in the customization. So if you use something like Lovable, you don't do so much with the customization. You don't understand how the code works. It does everything for you. If you use something like Cursor, you see the code, you can correct the code, you can debug the code. It's a bit better. And then you have we have the third level, which is the code generation, where you have things like cloud, you have things like cloud skills. You have OpenAI also have their own new one. You have some also coming from Gemini. So we have all this kind of code generation. For code generation, it's more for higher level of people that are more technical. So if you are using things like cloud skills, you want to know what what's it called? MD file means. So MD file is Markdown file. You want to know what a MD file is. You need to know how these MD files, how they correlate to each other and things like that. And I'm sure some of you must have heard what is called OpenClaw. OpenClaw is also used by AI agents. It may require more level of technicality, which is more on code generation. So these are the 3 levels of vibe coding. Based on your technicality, you can decide where to start. I always advise people start with things like Lovable, Base 24, because you don't need a lot of technicality to do that. And if you're more technical, you want to do more, then you can do things like Cursor. And if you are actually you want to go a bit deeper, then you can use things like Claude and Claude Code. But also most of these code generation tools, they start to imbibe some front end and deployment features in it. For instance, we have Claude Project, and OpenAI also have their own codecs, which they're also using to for deployment. But let me show you just an example here. Here I have my cursor open. So this cursor, so you can do your chatting here and then it generate the code. But as I said, this is more for very technical people, because it requires you to look at the code, requires you to do some testing and things like that. But because you can see the code, you can do more with it. But then you have something like this, which I wanted to use to demo, but I don't have so much time. I have only 8 minutes more. In this one, like what I wanted to do, actually something similar to what the previous presenter did, but I'm not sure we have all of the time here. So this is Vibe coding. This Vibe code app is majorly for building Apple apps, so more for iOS apps. So, but also they add a new feature here where you can build web apps. So if I just click web app, I'm not sure how much time we have, but I can just I can just describe build. I hope it doesn't take a lot of time, but build a. So one thing my last post today on Instagram was majorly on how to prompt, because sometimes we just write prompts, write bad prompt and we get wrong result. So in prompting, there's what we call the CRAP of prompting, which is you give it context, you give it role, you give it action, and then you give it parameters. So we are going to try to do that here. So I would just say, since it's already a tool for writing codes, you may not need to do a lot of role, because it already knows the role is it's a software developer and it needs to write code. So what you need to give it is context now. So so what I'm going to do is like build a web app for generating quiz, for generating quiz. I hope I spelled that right. For generating quiz from for generating quiz from PDFs. Then you give it a bit more context in the sense that the PDFs will be uploaded. The quiz should be 5 options. The user should be able to pick just one from the option. Also, there should be a score after the user submit the quiz. So actually, it's better you describe more things. So here you can already see I have the context on exactly what it should do. What I mean by so what I said CRAP, C is the context. Here I already gave it context of what it's supposed to do. R is supposed to be the role. The role is a software developer, which it already knows since it's not ChatGPT or Gemini. This is a coding tool. Then we have the action. The action is to build a web app, and then we have the parameters. The parameters is exactly what to do, what the user should do, and what the user is not supposed to do. Here you pick the coding, the model you wanted to use. Here I'm using Cloud Sonnet, which is one of the best model for creating software. So wait a bit, and it's going to create a web app for us here. And as I showed you previously here, the first thing is describe your app idea in plain English, which is what I just did. Then you are going to AI is going to generate the UI and the backend and everything for you. And then based on what it generates, we can then improve it. For instance, okay, add this, remove that, and things like that. And the deployment using this app is a bit good, especially if you are doing things with iOS app. For instance, here you can already see deployed, so it helps you to do the deployment. But sometimes many of these coding tools don't have deployment included in them, and this is the reason why you need to understand a bit on how deployment works, because deployment is after you create your tool, you want other people to be able to see them. Why this is working, I just want to answer questions because I know I actually prefer to have a discussion instead of just telling you what I know on how things work. So if you have questions on vibe coding, or if you have tried vibe coding before, what's your experience and what would you like to know more?
Robert, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you very much for your wonderful presentation. And I mean, I will just make it really brief, and then maybe if you have time, we can talk later. I don't know vibe coding. I tried some times ago. What's it called? From Google Gemini on Firebase, and I know it already knows that it is supposed to take the role of a software programmer. So there's definitely a difference if you do not specify this role extra and say you are a professional software engineer and you do not want to lose anything for a client. So go all out and work as a UX and do the, and as an architect and make the whole front end really look professional. And then the results you get are different. Is it a chance the same thing here?
So if you're using Gemini, for instance, I'll show you another example. If you're using pure Gemini or pure OpenAI ChatGPT, you need to specify the role. But if you're using a vibe coding tool, then you don't necessarily need to define the role because those tools cannot answer normal questions. those tools are only meant for building tools, for building website, for building applications. For instance, in Gemini, I'll show you something. So this is Gemini, but there's what we call Gemini apps. Not the normal Gemini, but Gemini apps. So if you go to Gemini apps, I think this is no this Gemini, but then you have the one just for coding. I'm trying to see if I could get one for you.
Do you mean Google anti-gravity?
No, not anti-gravity. Anti-gravity is the coding generation, but Gemini has the one specific just for app. I'm trying to see. Gemini has so Google anti-gravity is similar to Codex, is similar to Cursor, but then you have the one just for apps. Like, let me just see. I think it's called, because I built a lot of apps also there, so I want to see if I can.
You can also ask Gemini.
It's just a
just to give you heads up, the Gemini I'm talking about is embedded in Firebase Studio. So it's actually the probably the one you're talking about, and it's dedicated for what's it called, app building.
There's also Google AI Studio or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's in studio. It's in studio. Gemini. I think project.
Gemini. It's waiting for you to ask him.
Gemini project. Project for building apps. Because now I'm just building applications. I know there is. I can't find the link, because if I get to the link, you are going to see a lot of apps I already built there. It's always going to go through this. Nah, it's not going to take me through. Okay, let's go to AI Studios. I guess I can get it from AI Studios. So these are like, I have some apps already built there. So if it gets there, you're going to see skip. Exactly. So it's AI Studios. So you see AI Studios, and here you have all the apps I've built. So these are the apps. So if you're doing something like this and you start to, you see, in this case, you are not chatting like ChatGPT. Anything you enter here is going to build the app directly. But if you go to the Gemini like this one, then you need to be describing, and it's just going to give you whatever. If you come here and just, I'm not going to just like build. This is not the best way to write prompt. But let me just say build a quiz app. Yeah. Why I sometimes don't use this is because for Google Gemini building apps is you have to deploy on like Firebase that is only for Google. But if you use others, you can decide what to do. And mostly they take a longer time because they give you a finished product. So this one that is doing that you are seeing here, I used it for one of my other apps. If you see this app I have built previously, this is one I built previously. So it's already on Apple iOS Apple Store. You can see, you are going to see the finished product here. Here you have, let me show you some of the apps I've built here. So all I just want, if you have other question, I can show you, because one is I'm running out of time and I'm trying to not do a lot. I built this some time ago. I called it it's used for just let me log in, create login, just the way I did. Do I don't have an account, sign up, whatever. I think I don't have to log in. Create an account. Just yeah. So this is one of the app I built previously. It's just for you to create like a puzzle. So if you don't have an image, you can upload an image and create like this puzzle, and you can why is it? So you can rearrange the image to upload. And see. You can decide if it's easy, and then here it scatters the image and it uploads. You can then kind of arrange the image. So generally, when it comes to vibe coding, there are a couple of apps But as I explained before, it depends on what level of technicality that you have. If you want to build apps and you're using Gemini, I advise you to use the Google AI Studio and go to applications like I showed you here. These are all the apps I've built here. And if you want to deploy, so if you use AI Studio, it's going to deploy on Google's um, Google's um, Google's cloud. But if you want to build applications that are going to run on iOS, you can use this. So this is one app I created some time ago, and if it works well. So it's a pet app. It's for managing pets, and I built because I know how to code. Obviously, I can change a couple of things from it, and you can do quite a number of things. This app is already actually on Apple Store, and the app I just told us to build now, I hope it's finished. Where is our apps? Okay, this is the one that was built in here, the quiz app. It's still, I guess it's almost done. Was the result of it's going to be done soon. So generally, these are apps you can use to build anything you want. You don't necessarily need to be technical. You can build, yeah. So this is our quiz app, and we can already test. I can upload PDF. Let me look for a PDF that is interesting. Agentic report. Okay, this is a PDF from Claude about AI agents in 2026. You can upload it. You can create a quiz already, and this is already a website, and you can immediately deploy the website. So it's great. The questions you can see that we will see that in the next maybe 1 minute. Sometimes it's a bit slow because of the internet. I'm outside, but most times some of these vibe coding tools are really good. If you have some question why this is happening, you can ask so that I can show you some things, because I don't have so much time. I couldn't have so much time because of some of the previous speaker took some time, but I would like to answer questions.
Yeah, maybe Barnabas, can you quickly ask a question?
Hello, John. Thank you very much for the demo and also the explanation. I currently have like a system where I connected OpenClaw to I connected OpenClaw in my VPS. I did the technical stuff myself, and I asked it to build an app for me. But the issue that I'm having is that the app is supposed to be an AI powered app, but I'm using just Codex for it. Anyway, that's the only model I'm using at the moment because I don't want to run into the risk of using one of the cloud models, and could be so expensive, So the issue is that I can't get it to get the app to be AI powered. What exactly do you think could be the problem?
Yeah, I'm going to answer your question immediately. But just to just show people, so you can see just that the whole thing is I uploaded the PDF and it created the questions for me. I can answer the question. It also has a bar up here where it tells you how many questions have been answered, 80%, and then you have also your submit button, and I'm sure that it's going, so you can see the question have been answered, and this is 90 now. Yeah, so I can just to answer your question. If it's not, you said it needed to be AI powered. If you need it to be AI powered and you're using OpenClaw, then you need to connect one of the APIs. Are you connecting using Open Router? Are you connecting using OpenAI API? So it needs to connect a particular AI model to make it AI powered.
Oh,
Do you
yes.
understand?
Yes, but I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to connect them. I just want to use just Codex to use the AI of ChatGPT. Just that.
Yeah, you can't use it. So ChatGPT itself. So let me just give you an explanation. ChatGPT itself. I posted something on LinkedIn 2 days ago. If you can follow me on LinkedIn and follow me on Instagram, I explained some of these things. I explained Claude. We have Claude, we have Claude Code, and we have the third one now, Claude Cowork. Claude is the like ChatGPT. We have Opus, we have Sonic, and we have IQ. Those are the models. So Claude connects to Opus, Sonic, or IQ, the chat app. And then you have the Claude code that generates the code. It also connects to Opus, Onyx, and the rest of them. So if you are just using ChatGPT, ChatGPT itself is not a model. It's connecting to a model. So you need to connect to a model for you to be able to write code. Do you understand now? So there's no way you can just use ChatGPT alone, because ChatGPT is actually connecting to either GPT 5.4 that was released 2 days ago, or I don't know, GPT 5.2 that was released like 2 months ago. So the model itself is the brain behind these things, and anything you can create, any tool, either you are creating a chat app or you are creating anti-gravity, or the ones from OpenAI, I've forgotten the name now. Codex is the one from OpenAI connecting to GPT 4.5 or whatever, or you are using ChatGPT, which is the chat app connecting to GPT 5.4, or you are using, I don't know, depend anything you want to use, or you are using Cursor. If you see my Cursor here, I can also still connect to Agentic, and I can connect to different kinds of models.
Yeah,
So the-
absolutely. I'm using Codex anyway to write the code. But I was hoping that there could be a trick whereby I make Codex do like everything without having
Nah.
to connect any API key or whatever.
No,
Any other API.
I'm sorry, I need to run because I have a class flight to catch. They can share my Instagram and my LinkedIn, and you can always ask me any questions there. I'm sorry, I need to run because I'm already 10 minutes behind.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
flight.
much, John. I think we will have another session for this. Definitely we'll have
Yeah,
another
I'm sorry. I have to leave. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry we took your time. I think you guys have seen how the whole program went. It was not enough time at the end of the day, but I'm so glad we were able to learn one or two things. As a member of IT Guru, you can see what we do. We support each other. We're building a community. Invite as much as possible people to the group. From there, you can get information. From there, you can share information. And from there, we can also help each other as Africans, as a diaspora, as a human being. So let's do this together. Let's build our community together. Let's build the future together. Thank you very much for coming. I really appreciate your participation, and I hope to see you guys next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day, everybody.
You too. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.